All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Versatility Podcast. I am your host, Juelz. You know what it is. I got it. That's my tagline, y'all. I'm telling y'all, that's my tagline, and y'all just gonna have to take it. Like that's just what's gonna happen nowadays. Nah, but for real though, shout out to everybody that showed love on the last episode. And I'm back. I'm trying to make this a weekly thing. Probably gonna post all these episodes on Sunday because I got way too much going on to do like 2 or 3 episodes a week. It's just not happening. You see, if you're watching this, you can see him nodding his head because everybody, all my friends know I am busy, bro. I'm very busy. Also, in my link tree down below on whatever platform you're watching or listening to this on, I actually just dropped a music video to my song Running by Juelz, it's on YouTube and everything. So make sure y'all go check that out. And I also didn't mention before also, which I'm gonna talk about on another podcast, probably when I put my producer on, but that's a whole nother thing. I did drop an album back on April 22nd, 2022 called Time Will Tell. And that also is in the description down below. So make sure y'all all go check that out and all that type of stuff. You ugly as hell, boy.
I'm trying to support you.
But nah, for real though, we got a jam-packed episode today for y'all, and let's get started. And so I know if y'all have watching this, then you guys could see him kind of right there, that ugly little do-rag got on. But seriously, shout out to our guest for today, my good friend, also from Wisconsin, but not Milwaukee, just the other M. My friend Bocar, or Bo, whatever you want to say.
Introduce guys. What's up? My name is Bocar Jallo from Madison, Wisconsin. But I also go to Morgan with you. That's how we met for real. We were roommates freshman year. Yes, sir. So
we don't want to get into that too much. We don't want to get into that too much. Let's get into it. So first, of course, y'all know we got the top news, and one thing that's kind of like that I've been seeing a lot lately is COVID is a bit on a comeback at the moment, and along with COVID, we got this monkeypox thing going on, and yeah, it's like are we about to regress again? Like we about to go back to the trenches again? You know what I mean? And so, it's crazy. But first, I want to read off some monkeypox stats to y'all. So according to the CDC website, about 90% of the 50 states have at least one case of monkeypox as of 7/15/2022, which is, we're recording this on the 17th. So that's 2 days ago. Who knows if the rest of the states have a case by now? Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
Oh, nah, I'm not going.
You did it. The leaders are New York, which of course has 489 cases. Similar to how when COVID started, right? It's New York. And you can guess what the second state is. What's the second state, bro?
Second, Cali.
Yes, Cali with 266 cases. Over 1,800 cases have been confirmed in the U.S. And for those of you who do not know, monkeypox is a virus that transfers from skin to skin that leaves bumps, pimples, and blisters on your skin. And they can also be on the inside of you as well, like on your mouth or your buttocks and stuff like that. Like it goes literally everywhere. And then you can check that on the CDC website and pictures and stuff. It's not pretty. I'll just say that. You look like one of the monsters from SpongeBob or like Frankenstein or something. Like that's literally what you look like. Infection and symptoms can be prevented though through vaccination. 2 vaccines are out right now, and you can check the CDC website to see if you're eligible for those. And so, Bocar, before we get in the COVID part, how do you feel about this monkeypox thing?
I mean, they might as well just call this the pandemic era in the history books because we don't get breaks. We're not going to see real life at this point. Every time we get back to real life, they're like, throw something else at you. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, you wish people after like COVID would like learn how to act like things out there exist and be cleaner and try not to spread stuff. But, people just go back to regular life as if COVID didn't happen. Like past 2 years didn't happen. But, I think this could be prevented if, maybe people, a little smarter this time. I don't trust the US, but,
that's why this time, because monkeypox isn't new. Everybody knows about monkeypox. It's just starting back up again. Yeah. And that's what the issue is. And that's why they're trying to get out ahead of it. We didn't have vaccines at this point when COVID hit. It took us about a year. So, this is a step in the right direction. There are 2 vaccines available, and then you could check your eligibility for that. I think they said like it's if your sex partner or in this day and age, or if your multiple sex partners have had it and you're a close contact, then you can get the vaccine. But again, check the CDC website for all that stuff. That was too much information for me to get to y'all. I ain't gonna lie. So but please, do your own research. Even though you're listening to this, and I really do appreciate it, everybody needs to do their own research for these certain different things. Even when it came back to the vaccine, I literally always said, make sure you do your own research, because that's very important. I can tell you what I know and the facts, but you have to see it for yourself and make that decision for your body. All right, because I don't say Julien told me to do that. I'm like, no. I gave you the information. You still have to do your own information. Granted, I would hope I gave you the right information, right? But that's just what it is. But then when you go on the COVID side of things, do you know the new variant that's out, Bo?
Like DLCs? No, I don't know.
He's like, there's another one.
There's another. Too many, bro.
So Omicron B8.5. I think it's BA5 though. I think that's how you say it. And basically it's just much more contagious and can bypass previous immunities and vaccinations and stuff like that. I couldn't exactly get the numbers that I wanted from this, but basically they're just saying it continues to increase. And I do know in some places they are recommending that you mask indoors again. I'm not gonna lie. If we're being honest, do you still wear your masks indoors?
Indoors, absolutely not. I mean, I wear it at my job. I say we have to wear it at my job, but only one of them. The other job, nah, no chance.
No,
bro, it's literally a school and nobody wears it. So nobody's wearing a mask.
That's just where we're at now. I feel like even me, y'all know, I used to always wear a mask even when nobody did. And me now, I feel like I just look stupid wearing a mask at this point, because it's like, what's exactly is the point in me wearing this mask? Because I haven't caught it. I've been careful. I don't just be around large groups of people all the time. But even if I do, literally, remember the Bucks games and stuff, the watch parties and everything, I never wore a mask until the end, because the girls at the time told me to do so, and I was like, listen, if you want me to, that's cool. As simple as that. The woman's all right, always right type stuff. But other than that, I didn't wear it outdoors anymore, because the CDC was like, nah, y'all good outdoors at least. And then indoors, I still wore it. Now we're getting to the point where I just haven't been wearing it indoors. I don't wear it in supermarkets. I don't wear it at parties. I don't wear it. Of course, I'm not wearing it with close friends and stuff like that. I've been stopped doing that. But it's I just gradually have not been doing as much. And I work at WAA radio station, and I don't wear my mask. A lot of us don't. And that's just where we're moving towards again. We want that normalcy again. How bad did you want that normalcy, especially after that whole big pandemic and everything that we did have?
Yeah, no, it was really bad too. And I think the biggest part too is kind of knowing that people, the mask protects other people from you. It protects your stuff from getting out on other people. So if nobody's wearing it, they're not protecting. I'm not protecting really, because then nobody else is wearing a mask. The mask only does so much. Most people not even wearing the regular, nobody's out there with K95s. So it's we're out here with the regular cloth masks that people throw in the washer, or you just buy every a huge pack of. Nobody's really buying the actual stuff. So it's kind of people are kind of just it's whatever. I've already caught it before. I'm not catching it again. Even I caught it, and I caught it at work wearing my mask. So it's kind of
Yeah. One of my friends said, actually my roommate, he was like, he caught he caught COVID after he took a test for COVID. And it happened to him twice.
That's crazy. That they gotta lock that place down. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It happened to him twice, and he's like, from now on, I'm not taking a COVID test unless it's like at home one. But other than that, he says he's not taking one because like that's what happened to him. Granted, it hasn't happened to me. I've taken like 3-4 COVID tests. I had a few scares. One of our friends had it after we hung out with him and stuff, and I had to take COVID test, and I took it too early because apparently you're supposed to wait like 7-10 days first, and I'm like, I'm supposed to just go out and live my life for 7 to 10 days.
That sounds crazy, don't it?
And then
so crazy.
Yeah, and then take a test and be like, oh yeah, you have COVID. Like, what? Like, like
realistically, I'm not about to quarantine. I'm about to not go to work and not get paid and not know if I have COVID or not. That's kind of like, it's like, so I'm going outside.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like, even when I found out at work. I'm like, I was at work and I was just my lower back started hurting. I was like, I'm struggling to stand. I literally couldn't stand no more. I'm like, why is my back hurt? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, my back is killing me. And to the point, my eyes started to water. My boss like, you can go home. I went home. I took an Epsom salt bath. I was stretching. I was looking up yoga. I'm like, I was doing everything in my pocket. I took a nap. Finally, it's a little bit starting to go away. And crazy part, I had my girl. She came over. We went downtown, came back that night. I'm like, nah, I really can't exist right now. I was chilling with her, but like when she left, I was like, nah, I can't. Went to the doctor at like 11 p.m. Bro, they're like, yeah, you got COVID. I'm like, lower back pain is a symptom. They're like, everything's a symptom. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, so I'm going to the doctor. I should just expect COVID at this point. So my knee hurt, COVID.
No, like real
probably.
Like, hey, you got a sore, everything sore. Oh yeah, it's COVID. Road ankle, it's COVID.
Yeah, you say you tore your ACL, probably COVID.
Yeah, like COVID. No, that's insane. And then I mean, we've talked about it, but like COVID still affects you now, right?
Bro, yeah, nah, like breathing wise, like I'm like, you think you recovered until like I go to the gym a lot. I was going 6 days a week before I had COVID. I can't even do the 4 no more. I didn't go to the gym this week. I can't even lie to you. It's like, it becomes like a thing where, like if I go in this gym, I'm not going to put out what I need to put out. Like whatever I need to do is not going to be reached. I already know that before I walk in. Like that's the feeling. And I'm just like, you're doing regular things, like a split squat shouldn't have me losing my breath. Especially not if it's the first workout I'm doing with weights. That's what I'm saying.
Really?
Bro, telling you, like, your chest just can't breathe. And like, the other day I was shooting hoops by myself, literally just shooting. Not even like hard shooting drills, just kind of like side shoot, warm up the arm. I'm losing my breath instantly. I'm like, how? I mean, it gets better when you like start to push it. It's like you have to rebuild up stamina from like being a child.
So then, how long ago did you catch it?
That was in March, July now. So that's like what, 4 months?
You have some time because they say Jason Tatum, like he was still recovering from it after like 5-6 months because he caught it. I remember he caught it in January of like 2021, and he said he didn't start feeling himself until like the next NBA season for real.
Yeah,
because it takes a while. Like literally professional athletes are saying they weren't back to their regular stamina until 6+ months after. And it's been 5 for you now. Wait, no, it's been 4. It's been 4 months because it's July right now. So I would assume, right? This is just my assumption that probably at least by next year you should be good again. But then again, you're not on an NBA schedule, NBA training schedule. But I would assume that's gonna, be good for you by then.
And even like I went to the doctors, got x-rays and blood work. They were like, yeah, your lungs are just damaged. You stepped away for them to heal. I was like, well, man.
Nah, that really is crazy. But I really do hope that we're on the tail end of this stuff. Granted, as you all know, we've had 2 years of COVID already. You guys know when cases are going to spike up. When are they going to spike up, Bocar?
Oh, God. Miami spring break, homecoming. Pretty much.
No. What, like 3 months does it always spike up, bro?
It's summer.
No, not that
Not even
one.
summer?
Winter. November, December, January, and then it decreases by February because everybody settled down. November, Thanksgiving. December, you got Christmas break and Christmas overall, and then going into January, of course, that's New Year's Eve and New Year's. Then you just have people going back to college, and then they're spreading all that stuff that they got back from Christmas break. Yeah. We've done this for 2 years already. We know it's going to spike up. Do not panic. It's going to happen. I literally, if I was doing a podcast during that time in 2022, like I would have said the same thing. It's going to spike up. Granted, and as you saw, Bo, like with Morgan State, they started putting more restrictions up and everything because it spiked up. Granted, I understand why, but I knew it was going to go down. Yeah, because that's what happened last year. It went up and then it started going down, and then going into the what was that? And then going into the summer where we had the watch parties and stuff for the Bucks and everything, we started loosening restrictions because of that. Granted, of course, it's gonna increase a little during the summer, which is what it's doing right now because everybody's outside. We outside, like that type of stuff. But but during the winter, especially because it's cold, your immunity is gonna be lower. It's cold, like it's snowing, like people are moving a lot. People want to see family. The older people that are seeing the younger people that are seeing the older people, they're less at risk compared to the older people. They can infect them. That's just what's going to happen. COVID is a part of this, and it's going to forever be a part of it. Y'all know how like y'all didn't have to wear masks in the hospitals all the time. No, you will have to wear a mask in a hospital for the rest of your life.
Honestly, I would not wear a mask. That's crazy because I just know that somebody in there is in there for COVID. So I'm just like I'm putting a mask on. Not regardless.
Even COVID.
If I'm going anywhere where I'm putting a mask on, it has to be the hospital.
100%. And people should have already been doing that. And granted, like I wasn't even thinking about it until COVID happened. Because I remember some like medical people were like, I don't know why we don't
wear masks.
Yeah, wear masks in the in the hospital. Like we should have been doing that, regardless of if somebody's infected or not. Like that's just what should be happening.
Right.
But I digress. So moving on though, did you hear about the suicide hotline number?
Yeah, they changed it to 988.
They changed it to 988, which is a groundbreaking thing to do because if we think about it, who the hell was going to be dialing that 10-digit number while I haven't and remembering that
logic. Yeah, you got to sing that song. So that's it. If you're really the only person that's going to know that word for word.
I mean, shoot, if you remember the song, then yeah, I guess. But like,
I remember the 1-800. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah,
all I know is 100. So this is really good because I was listening to NPR's Up First. It's a podcast that they do like Monday. Well, actually, really every single day. It's about 15 minutes, and they say like the biggest news stories. And so I've been listening to them for about 2 years. Shout out to Professor DeWitt at Morgan. She the one who put me on to that, and I've been listening to it for 2 years. 2 years now, almost 2 years. Basically, they were saying like. The 988 number is going to be a way better alternative to 911 because 911 will respond to mental health and people who have mental illnesses cases and things, and they'll end up like arresting them or shooting them because they don't know how to handle that stuff. They're not trained for that. They're trained to disarm and things of that nature. They should be able to, lower the situation, de-escalate, but I feel like they never de-escalate because when everybody sees police nowadays, they don't think de-escalate 9 times out of 10. Actually, I say 7 to 8 times out of 10.
I mean, when a gun is involved, it's already escalated.
Exactly.
It's already escalated.
Especially when you see them, doing this.
Yeah,
and, holding the holster and stuff like that. If for those you can't see, like I'm like when they have their hand on their waist, being like, "Hey, calm down, buddy," with the one hand out and one hand on the gun. Like, what is that supposed to do for me, who has a mental health stuff, and they're already sporadic as it is, and that's just gonna escalate the situation rather than de-escalate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so honestly, at what point do you need to shoot the person that's unarmed? At what point do we have to do that? There's tasers. I'm sure you have some form of training.
I'm not gonna lie, some people they be eating them tasers, bro. I've been seeing.
But you get put bro in a locker or something. You got to be trained. I mean, they train it like this long, so maybe not. Maybe they don't know how to subdue people.
Yeah, their training is only like 9 months, I think. I think it's 9 months or like close to 2 years, but it's not that long, bro. And it's not long at all. And you would think like if you're going out to protect and serve with who knows how many like things that they have to deal with, you would assume maybe like, I don't know, like an associate's degree type length, maybe 2 years, like I don't know, but maybe it's some more field training because they
a little bit more mental tests.
Yeah.
See what you're doing up there. I think that matters a lot.
Yeah, but basically this 98 number is really going to be really helpful. And here are some stats that I got from NPR's Up First that they was talking about. They say 85% responded to the calls. Like if you called the number, the 10-digit number, 85% of the time your call was responded to. About 50% of the texts were responded to. So as you see, it has some work to do, but they're putting some money into it though, because $400 million was just donated to this endeavor by the federal government so they can have the resources and everything. As long as calls and texts are going to double since this change, because now it's easier to remember 988. It's like 911. Everybody knows that number. It's literally a show called 911 because of how, easy it is to remember and because we know what it signifies. Dispatchers and stuff. And then only 16% of states have budgeted for these services. So it clearly, I know, right? 16% is a bit crazy. Unless they say 60, but I'm pretty sure they say 16%. And
I believe it. It's crazy, but I believe
it. They're kind of on the upside because of that $400 million and because they're slowly making the change that we need to see. Right. And granted, when it comes to mental health and everything, we've realized that the necessary things have not been happening in order to make sure that people are given the care that they needed. Because a 911 dispatcher that's just not what people need. People need mental health professionals, people who can de-escalate, and that's the main thing that needs to happen.
I'd say I've 100% called the hotline before at a point in time, and they definitely first thing they do is they really try to just de-escalate before they talk to you about anything about how you feeling. They ask you how you feel and stuff like that, but before the whole situation, we need to make sure that you're not about to do what we think you're about to do. And that's one of the whole things, keeping yourself safe. And they want to make sure that you're safe beyond anything. It's definitely not an escalation. They're definitely not going to force you or tell you, be like, what are you going through? It's going to be can we just make sure that you're safe? Do we need somebody to come look over you? Do you feel like you're going to do it? Because then we can have somebody there. So, they definitely try on those fronts,
Yeah, no, I respect that. And the fact that you had to call that, I'm just glad, glad my
man.
And
get therapy, y'all. Get
therapy, please. Especially black people, indigenous people, minorities, get therapy, bro.
You need it.
You need it. Even if it's just free therapy somewhere.
All of you.
Just get it. I feel like I've been talking some people think God is your therapy, which it is at some point, but even God knows that we need other things in life as well. It's okay to worship God, give him gladness, and go to church and listen and do your devotionals and all that stuff, and still have therapy, because there are some things that you need to talk through, that you need to go through, that you don't want to go through, but you do need to go through in order to become a better version of yourself. I've gone to therapy, and even my therapist was yeah, you have to we have to keep going from here. We're gonna set up different things in the future. I need to contact her again. But going into the school year, but it's something that's very important for us to do. It's very, very, very important,
especially in the Black community. It's kind of looked down upon, and it's really crazy because when you break your leg, you don't be like, God, fix my leg. You go to the doctors, right? Because there are people that were blessed with the abilities to help you in that department. You feel me? I don't think God would just leave you without any means to deal with some health-wise, you feel me, or anything, but health-wise especially. But your mind is important to your body. If your mental health is messed up, you can mess up your physical health, literally. So it matters that much. And like even like my church in Wisconsin, shout out Mount Zion in Madison, Wisconsin. Our pastor, he was a younger guy, so granted he probably he felt more things. He was a veteran, and he advocated. He was like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm bringing Christian therapists in here because like everybody in here needs therapy, especially black people, just because we have like what's it? Trauma is in your genetics. Pain and suffering is genetic. The things you do today is literally because of slavery. Like when you laugh and you run, that is because slaves were afraid to laugh around their masters, so they ran away. Every time you hurt somebody, you ran because you don't want to get beat. There's reasons why you do certain things. There's reasons why we all do certain things in the culture. Like if it really went back to that, we just have no culture, right? If we had nothing to go off of, we just have no culture. But clearly we do. And so it was all coming back from that one thing because it's not African culture. So yeah. So you really got to go get therapy.
It's a lot. And I feel like that thing that you were saying earlier about like people have a gift for these type of things. Like God gives certain people to do certain things. And it's like you're basically doing them a disservice by not asking them for help and not asking. If you ask, like, this is something that I've learned during my faith journey, of course. And granted, if you are not like into faith and stuff like that, you still seek therapy regardless. I don't care if you're doing doula or some other stuff. Like, I don't like, that's just like, it's something to help you. I'm not saying this to be like, yeah, you just need to do it because you're just so messed up. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm saying what damage is getting help for your mental, which a lot of people do not focus on enough. It's more than just inner peace. It's something deeper than that. Like I have childhood things that still affect me now when it comes to talking to people. And and people assume because of the fact that I do talk a lot and all that stuff, that I do not have like issues with talking to people and with socializing. I am very awkward. If you really know me, everybody can tell I am awkward, but I mask it because I just say F it and I just do what I need to do. Right. It's because it's a dual thing. And that awkwardness is not it's not something that's inherited. It's something that I learned because of my different experiences, and it's something that I need to break down, and I am continually breaking down to become a better person. So that is something that I am working on. And back to what Bocar was saying, like people are gifted to help you with your mental health, and you should seek them. And you're like doing them a disservice by not going out to seek them and everything, because it's a very important thing. Like these people went to school for what, 10 years or something to get this degree. Right. Like go seek your help, man. And woman, or they, them, there's so many things. I just have to make sure everybody
and everything
go get it
and everything.
Make sure you go get it. So it's very important. And that kind of leads me to the next thing that I was going to talk about, which is kind of school and mental health. And for both of us, we moved 900 plus miles away from our home to come to the illustrious Morgan State University. Can I get an amen?
It's a national treasure. Is your school national treasure? It's not. Ours is. You see this? The national treasure.
The national treasure. And so something that I kind of want to talk about is that move and that difference in being in a more white-centered culture, especially in Madison compared to Milwaukee. Like I grew up with a whole bunch of Black people. So I know you have to a certain extent as well. But kind of like the difference, because we've talked about this a lot, the difference in the resources that are available at Morgan compared to the resources available in Wisconsin, because Wisconsin isn't a Black state. Or a Black city with Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is a Black,
literally the worst state for Black people.
Well, Milwaukee is the worst state for Black people, and it's been that way for probably like 5, 6, 10 years or so.
Bro, they showed me that in middle school, and it's still the same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But like Milwaukee and Bocar, you can actually see this too. Milwaukee is definitely moving in the right direction. Like it's getting way better. But Madison is like, God, awful. It's probably one of the whitest cities in America. If I'm being honest.
It's so crazy because it's like it's diverse. I'm not gonna say it's as segregated as Milwaukee.
Segregated.
No, it's nowhere near that. But there are certain parts where it's just with certain people in certain places, but it's a weird type of like racism, just because it's like everybody's like a liberal and like everybody's progressive. It's just like not towards Black people. Just everybody but y'all is cool. Like it's really crazy. But and there's a big lack of resources, especially school wise, opportunity wise. Like even 100 Black men, right? I had gotten an award from my school. I got recommended by someone who knew somebody in it, and there was like 4 Black kids. We all got picked. We went to this little ceremony, and they were like, "Yeah, these are all the 100 Black men of Madison." And I said, "Madison? Oh, it's not a state thing?" They're like, "No, it's just a city." I'm like, "So you all live in this city?" I'm like, cool. I'm like, "I don't know none of y'all, but I'm supposedly a top student in my city." So it's kind of like why do I not know you? I knew like my doctor. That was the one person I knew. He's at my table. That's it. Everybody else, I was like, who are all of you? And like even when they did give me cards and I reached out, no response. Even from 100 Black men, calling y'all out, y'all gave us nothing. I've texted all the other kids in the program. You guys said you're gonna help us. At this point, we got an award. So when I put it on my resume, I say award. I don't say it was supposed to be a scholarship or some sort of program of some sort. They're supposed to help us, but they did not. But and there's a lot of and like I'm not mad at it, but there's a lot of like, I'm gonna help my kid because they're right there. I'm gonna help who I choose to help. And I hear that, but everybody deserves help. That's not really fair, especially when you know what it's like to be a Black person, especially in a place where it's not necessarily favored for Black people. So it was kind of things I didn't like, and that was really one of the reasons why I came all the way out to Morgan, because when I came out here, even orientation, I came out here and I met kids, and just the stuff that I heard from like the stuff that they even have in their Baltimore City like school programs. I'm like Mari, he's getting money from his middle school to go to college.
What?
Exactly. How does that?
I didn't know that. Mari was just on the last episode.
Bro, they have a thing called YouthWorks, right? And
YouthWorks, yeah, I actually do some work with them right now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm working. Well, okay, I'm using a company. We're using that company to give kids money, but like that's been the thing since like the teacher I'm working with. He's like 30 something. He said, "Yeah, I did that in middle school." So he's like, I did that in like high school. So I was like, yeah. So that it's been they have opportunities and they have things, even Poly high school, they're a good school. Some of the schools, they have good reputations and stuff like that. Granted, people obviously they think, oh, Baltimore, shooting and all that. And to me, that happens in certain places, but there are a lot of people still trying to make it out, and there are opportunities to make it out. So, and I think the Black people here just care a little bit more about each other.
Yeah, it's a bit so. Like I will admit they're better at rallying together. But Milwaukee, I can't speak for Madison. I have nothing to say. Because I just like I can't formulate an opinion on something that I really don't know as much about. And plus I've only heard it from your perspective. If I don't hear it from another perspective to kind of like bounce off of that, then I feel like I'm being biased. So, but from what I've heard, it seems it needs work. And I know Milwaukee needs work. It needs less work than Madison does. But we're on the right track with Milwaukee. But I will admit there needs to be some more programs in general. I know Tracy did that one. It's like some fellowship thingy. And there are some other things available in Milwaukee as well. But I will admit there are a lot of good things going on here in Baltimore. I work with a company called B360.
You work for B360?
Yeah, I do.
Bro, I'm the partner company at B.org.
The what?
We're the partner company to y'all, B.org.
Oh, word?
Hey, look at that.
I'm actually doing some administrative work for them right now, like doing some other stuff, but that's neither here or there. And like, this just like, I get paid amount of money to work with them and stuff like that. Like, whereas if I'm in Milwaukee, I doubt I'm going to get paid or even find an opportunity like that. And that's why it's so important to me. Like when I graduate, like, and probably after I get a little more experience in things, I want to bring some different programs and things to my city because there needs to be more connectivity. Granted, we're not as big of a city as Baltimore and everything, but that's the point. We're trying to get things to be better than what it is. Right. And so when I move to Morgan and I go to HBCU with different people from all over the place, but a lot of people on this, literally in the smaller East Coast, like there's so many things going on that I want to bring that back home. And it was a relief to see that when I came to this HBCU, because it was like Black people, right? Let's say like, I'm gonna go like high school, right? Usually the Black, if you go to a diverse school, right? The Black people are usually about kind of like the same for the most part. There's maybe a few of them that are kind of like geeks or whatever, or a few of them that are kind of like in between. But overall, they're all in that same bigger, like kind of popular crowd type of group. And our majority kind of like the same. When you go to HBCU, you have a horde of the quote unquote geek cat / anime people, but then they're also separated by just the geek type people too. Then you also have people who just do sports, literally just do sports. They don't do nothing else. They don't party. They don't do nothing. They just do sports, go home, go to sleep. Then you have people who are just doing it there for their degree and they just be vibing too. Then you have a lot of people who party and everything. Then you have the people who are kind of just in between, who do a lot of orgs and everything. But then on top of that, they still do everything else. And then you have people like me who just literally do everything. And I talk to everybody. So there's so many different types of people. Like there are people who you think are the hoodest of the hood. They are the smartest people that you will ever meet in your life.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. And you really don't understand. Like, that's why I say HBCU will change your life, because you will be like, I do not need to be like the quote unquote geek or whitewashed person in order to be smart. That is just not true. And Justin, Justin.
Yeah,
he is a case in and of itself, and he's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, bro. And even my roommate, my other roommate, Justin, he's one of the smartest people too. And like all that combined, it's crazy how this is. And it really, that's why I always say HBCU is the place to be. And even if you're not Black, just being in that experience, because Black people, I believe this too. We treat people from other races the best out of everybody else. Of course. Because we went through slavery, because we went through all this stuff, we literally live by treat how you want to be treated. Right. And we don't take nothing out on anybody. I mean, except for some of the Black nationalist stuff. But Dr. Umar, But yeah, like that's how that is for real. So I kind of want to talk about how that period where we were not in school, because everything, let's go back, because I've talked about this so many times, but it's different with every person, because me and Bocar, that first semester, we were not roommates. That's fall 2019, right? We live kind of like down the hall from each other, yada yada yada, right? So then we switched and we're roommates now. And then, well, I can't skip over this, because then in this January we get back, we both were right next to each other when Kobe died. We were just talking about that the other day. It was just like we were both just sitting there in our room on a Sunday. We were supposed to go hoop with our peoples.
Yeah, everybody's supposed to go hoop.
Yeah, we were supposed to go hoop.
It was supposed to be a good hoop session. We started checking our phones, and they're like, Kobe died in a helicopter crash. We're like, yeah, and people were like, oh, this fake. We're like, oh, it's fake. Yeah, then we keep seeing it. And then better news sources keep saying that. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, I was like, no. It was TMZ first.
Yeah, I was like, how y'all saw this scoop so fast?
Well, TMZ be on it.
They everywhere.
So it was just like we saw that, and then I literally was like, I think it was me. I was like, no. I said, no way. I said, no way. Because everybody knows I'm a big Kobe fan. Big Kobe. He was the first basketball player that I ever really liked for real. And it was just like, what? And then once it actually happened, we talked about it the other day, like I have a Kobe jersey. I hung it on the pipe in our room, and I swear it stayed there until we left. Until Kobe.
Yeah, but no, it did. I think it did stay there until Kobe. It
fell a few times too, and I kept putting it back up. I was like,
of course.
It's Kobe, man. It's Kobe.
It was so crazy because like the month before, I wasn't as high on Kobe. Right before he died, I think Tracy had sent me a documentary, because he loves Kobe for real. He sent me a documentary, and I was like, nah, Kobe's him. You can ask Tracy. I was like, Kobe's him. I was like, oh, I'm like, he put me on, and then Kobe died. I said, dang, I had a month. I had 1 month.
See, look, bro, you gotta appreciate greatness while it's here, man.
Right, it was Juelz, then Kobe. I said, God.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. And Kobe was...
and Pop. I said, Jesus Christ.
Nah, when campus was lit after Pop died, that was crazy. Insane. But like that semester, I'm not gonna lie, that semester, I felt like it was something different about that semester. Cause like going into that, like we was really getting lit. And then that day we had a day party. And in that day party, like that was our first one as freshmen. So we all looking nice and everything. We all vibing. We like, this is what this next part of the semester is gonna be like. Then Isla Morgan Week was coming. It was like, yo, we finna get lit. Then remember that last day in the conference room, everybody was dapping each other up. Yeah, we don't know if we're gonna come back right away. We got like these 3 weeks now instead of just 1 week. And we'll be back though, for real, for real. Next thing you know, I probably in the middle of that second week, that extended spring break, they was like, yeah, y'all not coming back. We said, huh? We said, huh? And then after that, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
You already know what I was going through with that.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I kind of want to talk about, like, speak to how, like, because for me, it actually helped my mental health. At first it was bad, but as I started finding my way, like, I changed my major. I'm on a way better path. I started my podcast. I started making my music way more. I started doing all these different things that made me feel like be who I am. So for you, and because I talked about this a hell of times. So for you, how is that journey like?
Well, me personally, how it started was, I was like, oh, it's spring break. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like, I'll be right to the mom, meet the mom, because I'm thinking it's a week. It's a week, whatever. Parents cool. Then she come down for a week. Better came 3 weeks, and like, I'll be real. This was 100% a toxic relationship. I was the victim, but I wasn't the victim. Feel me? Because everybody got to hold some accountability. I did pick that person. I did choose to stay with that person. So you feel me? I think COVID for me was like a hit rock bottom, and then ultimately get better than I was before. But I had to make a real big jump. Start here, go down, and go back up here. But definitely was a very big learning experience. I think I don't want to say like I wouldn't have had it. I wouldn't have wanted to be any other way, just because like I ultimately gained something I probably wouldn't have gained beforehand.
Amen.
So it's I'm blessed for that one. On that part. So
yeah. And like all of our friends know the lengths we had to go to make sure this man was okay, because he was like. It's funny now because it's like all that stuff, like even Bo had to apologize for all the BS he put us through, especially me and Phil. Like the stuff me and Phil had to do for you, bro, like over the phone and everything, and just like all this stuff, bro. And like the added, like you were very sporadic, like you had a lot going on, and I never blamed you for it. Like I knew you were just going through stuff, and I'm just glad you had the support system that you did have,
shout out to y'all. I don't know if I would have been here without y'all. Real talk. Like it was bad. It was really bad for real. I don't, like, it's kind of crazy. Like think about like I would never do this now, but like 2 years ago I was doing it. So it's like I like dang, what was I doing back then? But obviously, that was first piece of something. Girlfriend I could see every day. I could do something with every day. So it's kind of like, you kind of
freedom. There's a different type of freedom, bro.
You fall into, into that. And then ultimately, she obviously had to leave my house because she lived in Maryland. I lived in Wisconsin, obviously. That was a problem.
At the time, then you moved.
Yeah, but she also went down to Georgia where her dad lives, and then all hell broke loose because there was some big parties. Big party peoples, And your man's went through a lot.
Hey, but at the end of the day, you're better now. And like that, like, and even though the pandemic was awful and so many people died, a lot of good things came out of it because a lot of us had the time to reflect. A lot of us had the time to just really figure out what we were doing. And coming back to Morgan in 2021, the fall, I think we all came just with a different sense of, well, one, we're getting lit. Like we're just doing things. Like we're seeing people. We're not taking it for granted. Like me, I was president of Smooth. I was doing all these other things. And then when I could, I would come out and hang out with everybody and stuff. But everybody knew 9 times out of 10, nobody called me not because I wasn't fun to be around anything, but because I was just busy.
He wasn't coming. And if he came, he was 2 hours late, so it might as well not even come. I'm like, hey, bro, we about to hoop at 4. He's like, yeah, I'll be there at 7. I'm like, no, you're not. Just don't come. Just don't come.
It's because I had a meeting or I had I had something else to do. Like, it's like everybody knew I wasn't free until about 6 or 7 p.m. Genuinely, like I wasn't free until then. And then I couldn't stay up late too at the same time because I had to get up for like a 9, 10, or 11 a.m. So I had a lot going on. I wanted to make sure that I was just taking advantage of what I missed.
Right.
I missed sophomore year is usually that time where you go do stuff with those type of organizations, or when you do things like just in general, get your feet wet even more. Freshman and sophomore years, and in my junior year, you kind of already have a feeling of what you're going to be doing and everything. And granted, I did go explore during my sophomore year because I changed my major and stuff, but like it was a lot of other things that I wanted to do and couldn't do because I wasn't on campus and I couldn't network the way I wanted to as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I would never have joined the org before COVID.
Yeah.
Now I'm on 2 boards.
Look at you, man. Hey, and then you already know what I want you to join, but I ain't gonna force you. You know what I mean? we a brotherhood, man. You know what I mean, bro? A smooth, you know what I mean? But no, seriously though, COVID and all that stuff, like coming back to school was really a blessing. It still is. Like I'm still here right now in my dorm. I'm about to move to a crib soon, you know what I mean? And it's really just been a blessing. Like I've seen the change in all of my friends. Like even though like a lot of our friends do just be vibing a lot and doing other stuff, like I see that they are focused. Like, and it seems like they're not, because some days that they doing stuff, but they really are. Like once I really like talk to them, because me, I just wasn't around as much because I just had so much to do, or I didn't feel like doing some of the things they were doing all the time. Good people still, regardless though. Plus something you also learn in college, no matter what type of activities and things that people do, people are still getting things done. And you just have to read between the lines and actually have a conversation with people.
They will party every night and have straight A's. You'll never get it. They just do it though.
You never know. And they go ghost for like a week or something, and you're wondering what's going on, but they're just locking in.
They locked in just like that. It's like a flip switching.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, that's gonna be a doctor.
No, for real though. For real though, bro, like even if you talk to like them doctors, they'd be like, yeah, I was crazy back in college. That was them. That's them.
Oh, like they really mean it when they say they was like crazy back in college, bro.
Wow.
Like they was wild. And now that a lot of us are 21 now they can wild legally. So
yeah, legally. I was gonna say they was definitely wild before.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's a whole nother thing. We can't wait for our senior year. When are you scheduled to graduate?
2024 now.
2024?
Yeah, spring.
I'm actually like, I know you saw me. I put in the chat like I'm at 95%, bro.
You gonna graduate again?
Yeah, but
graduate.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, everybody got different paths. You got different paths. That's cool, man. You don't have to graduate on time.
Yeah, I mean, my track is not hard to graduate in 4 years compared to computer science, computer engineering, and all that type of stuff. So y'all got that, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Y'all got that. But moving on to the next topic, and then something that I haven't got to talk about yet, sports. And Bocar, even though he hates Wisconsin, he is a Green Bay Packers fan.
Of course. Aaron Rodgers, him.
He was a Bucs fan, but then I can understand why he left, because we went through a lot of BS and we was BSing. But that's neither here or there. But we'll talk about NBA. But first, there was a top 10 list that came out from ESPN for the best QBs in the league. Now, before we start this, who do you think was number one?
Usually probably like Tom or Patty.
All right, we're gonna start from 10 and work our way up. All right.
All right. If it's A-Rod, that's tough. But
okay, so number 10, we got Dak Prescott.
All right.
Yeah. Interesting start. Okay. Now number 9 this is a little bit crazy, but considering what he has done when he did play, he was elite. Deshaun Watson.
I understand it.
I understand
it.
But it's like,
I'm not mad at it. But if we,
yeah, okay.
If we talk about the talent and the ability,
yeah,
of course.
If we talk about massages, never mind. So
okay.
And also Deshaun Watson is one of my favorite players, so that's why it's irritating that he's dealing with this stuff. And I'm like, yo, if you really did it, you're kinky, bro. like you're I
don't know. He at least was doing something. 60,
he was doing something.
60 masseuses is crazy.
60.
It's crazy. Why do you have that many masseuses?
Well, we ain't gonna dive into that. Right. Number 8, Russell Wilson. Valid. It's valid.
I respect it.
Number 7. Shout out my cousins in Cali, Justin Herbert. Number 6, Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Number 5. This is where it gets a little okay. Joe Burrow. Considering his season.
I know. I mean, I hear you though, because they put Matt on there for the season, so I can't get mad at it.
Because Matt Stafford is an elite quarterback, but is he better than Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson?
No, he just got a chip.
I don't know about that.
He played great. He played great though.
Oh no, he's been elite, and even like Aaron Rodgers was like, a lot of people don't realize how like good like Matthew Stafford is. Like a lot of people do not.
The Lions got fleeced something crazy.
Like if you were a Green Bay Packers fan, you knew Matt Stafford was like that. That's why when he went to
touchdown, we saw a late game touchdown passes to beat them. Matthew was willing. I mean, they might have been winning, but he was willing that team a little bit.
Yeah, and then like he just is like, he was one of those guys that like once he got traded to the Rams, like if you knew that was a significant upgrade over Jerry.
I don't know what the Lions are doing to just get absolutely fleeced like that. You know,
they were trying to help him. They were trying to help him. I think they were trying to help him get on a winning team. I
hear that. I respect that.
But number 4, GOAT with the quotation marks, GOAT Brady. Tom Brady. Number 3. The top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, according to ESPN. Josh Allen.
Okay.
Of course. Number 2. Drum roll, please. Patrick Mahomes.
A-Rod number 1.
So you know,
3-time MVP. Stop playing with that.
Number 1, Aaron Rodgers, the 2-time back-to-back MVP, but 3-time overall MVPs. Granted, and I just want to talk about something real quick. He is not a playoff choker. Now, granted, this past one, I think the 49ers defense is just like that. And he definitely was force-fitting Devontae Adams. I'm not going to lie. He definitely was. And that's why I feel like a lot of people don't realize this, but I think we're undefeated when Devontae Adams didn't play. If I'm not mistaken, like this past year. And so
I was going to say Devontae not going to look like as much as Devontae on the Raiders team. I'm there because a great quarterback. But y'all wasn't there when Devontae was just Devontae. All right.
Y'all was not there. I mean, granted, he did improve significantly.
Of course. It was outrageous jump.
It ain't gonna be the same. Not when you like having Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, versus having Derek Carr. No offense. But come on, man.
Aaron putting that ball in place, you didn't even think it was gonna get there.
Yeah, it'd be like, but the thing about what makes Devontae Adams so great is because he can literally catch the ball anywhere, and he's not super fast, he's not super athletic, he's just skilled.
He runs the route amazing.
Amazing. Then remember, I think it was Ocho Cinco. He cried. Or it was him or Chad Johnson. He cried when he saw his route runner. You said what? Yeah, it's okay, bro. I be tweaking sometimes. But I mean, what do you think about this list overall though?
There was a wild card in there, Dak. I just don't feel like he's done enough, respectfully. But then if you say Deshaun on there, but I think Deshaun's his skill and his abilities outweigh Dak's significantly.
So who do you think should have been in there over? Because there's one name here. He's here.
I I've talked about that with some people here. Lamar, Great quarterback. I promise you, great quarterback. I don't know. He even had that little beef with Bernard Pollard.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You know, I think there was some truth said on both sides. You know, I think some wide receivers may not want to go play with Lamar. Granted, though, he is a great and amazing quarterback, and I'm sure his throwing ability improves every season. He'll be able to throw consistently. I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like he'll never throw consistently.
He's been getting better. Like he's gradually, he's been thought like sometimes like I'd be like, oh nah, that was a dot. Like you know, like it's a lot better than a lot of people realize. But it's just that sometimes when they do see it, it's like it's in between. But he has thrown some dots, and they're
also not putting any receivers around him. I think all they have right now is Bateman,
and they lost Sammy Watkins to us.
and Hollywood, who dropped everything anyway.
I mean, yeah, like how your best receiver drops everything, bro. Everything. Like, literally, it was like he dropped like probably like 2-3 touchdowns for real. Like in clutch games. I will admit though, Lamar is one clutch guy though. He is one clutch man.
If you give him the ball and say win the game, he's gonna try to. He might win that game too. I'm not gonna lie. He
by himself.
Yeah,
by himself.
He might spin you out, throw a great pass. I don't know. He's an athletic human being.
He don't juke 5 people.
Of course. And he still might throw a tutty, not even running.
Yeah. And then see, I kind of want to like, I don't even know like who would be like the best team going into this year. I mean, it's probably the Rams. It's probably the Rams.
I think they brought everybody back, didn't they?
Yeah, except for Von Miller, but it's not like Von Miller.
He was only there for a little. The team was great. It was a help that he was there.
He just put him over the top.
Yeah, I mean, it was already above everybody else to talk about roster wise.
True. I mean, if they would have ran into us in that conference finals game, in that NFC Championship game, who knows what could have happened? Because we just got beef with them. Like we love playing against the Rams. We always go out, especially Devontae when he goes against Ramsey and everything.
Yeah, no, he gonna play a little bit harder.
Like and then like everybody just lock in more. I think we just like that's why we literally just folded against 49ers. Like I was sitting in this bed right here when it happened. Like I was so pissed at that game because it's like the special teams really sold us. Like we could have skated through that game, but special teams I
turned it on late. I was just like, this is cool.
You was like, ain't no way. Like you was
I was just like, what is going on in this game for this to be the score? It just looked like one of them games. It was just like, it looked like an ugly game. It looked like it wasn't fun to watch.
It's an acquired taste. That's what it is. That's really what it was. If you're a fan, you're gonna watch it. If you weren't a fan, you was like,
Okay though, because I always remember, you know, we got absolutely ran by the Saints, and everybody gave up on us after the first game, which is outrageous.
Oh, I wasn't worried.
Feel me? It was outrageous that people even, you know, I'm like, because look at the Cardinals. They started off 8-0, saw us, and then was trash after that. I mean, they were just inconsistent. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you know, I feel like this season is gonna open a lot of eyes, but the season that I'm most excited for is this NBA season. And this season might be like we thought last year was going to be the best season, and the year before that we thought 2021 was going to be the best season. We thought 2022 was going to be the best season, but we got hit with some injuries, and they still have some amazing finishes to it.
Right.
But this 2023 season, my graduation year. Sorry, Bo. No, if I'm praying to God that everybody's healthy. This is going to be one of the greatest NBA seasons of all time.
So many
and before we really get into it, though, can we just talk about a little bit about how this past season kind of ended? And because we saw, of course, the Warriors won the championship. They beat the Celtics in 6. And then, and then our respective teams. I am the Bucks. He's a Luka fan by default. He's a Dallas fan. And so like your Dallas team, they really beat a lot of expectations.
Oh, of course. We whooped on the Jazz. Well, half the series, no Luka. So
I knew they were
Jalen Brunson beat the Jazz.
He really did.
He beat the Jazz. No, especially Dinwiddie too. He was hooping, you know, Dorian Finney-Smith.
They have no perimeter defense, so I mean,
Dorian Finney-Smith is the only perimeter defender on that team. So
no, I'm talking about on the.
Jet. Oh yeah, of course not. They just have they literally heavily depend on Gobert. It was really a very big problem.
Now they depend on Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
And he's good though, but nah.
But they got I think, and then the Suns, that series, we just, everybody was hating. It was 2-0 to Suns way. Devin Booker, mocking Luka, all that. He just got 40 pieces.
I knew the Suns were frauds. Like I knew they were frauds. Like I never believed in it, especially after we dogged them boys. And then they went 6 games with an injured but really good Pelicans team that they should have beaten 5. Granted, I knew
they definitely should have beat them way sooner than they should have. It should have been that close.
But they let the antics continue. Jose Alvarado, he was doing stuff. Trey Murphy was hitting threes. You couldn't guard Brandon Ingram. You just could not guard that man.
At all.
And then CJ McCollum was getting buckets. You couldn't guard. You had to put Mikal Bridges on somebody. Other than that, you have no good one-on-one defenders for real. I mean, you got Crowder, but like, really? Do you? Like, and DeAndre Ayton,
he's more like a bruiser type. I like one-on-one perimeter, he's great. But if you got somebody that can really move the ball, really, really dribble it, it's not gonna look too great for him, But and then the only narrative I don't like is that I don't like when people say, "Oh, the Suns are trash." And then because then they're like, don't take it away from Luka and them, because they were the number 1 seed and they won 60 games. You're not gonna forget that they won 60 games. They were the number 1 seed. They were favorites to win chips for a lot of people. So we beat the people that are supposed to beat the chips. So I'm happy with that. Do we lose to the Warriors? Yes. Look at the Mavs roster. Were we even supposed to be there? No. Not at all.
Not at all. It's like that. Even though like Giannis team, like back when we had Bledsoe and everything, like, even though we made it that far, like if you look back at that roster, you're like, bro, how? It's like LeBron's team.
It was literally the will of Giannis.
It literally was. And then once they stopped that Euro step, once they started literally building a wall, and people talk about like, what's crazy to me? Like people talk about, bro, you can't get past the wall. I'm like, yo, are you getting past 4 people defending a paint on you? Are you getting past that?
Respectfully, everybody got something that they can stop. KD. I think that you need people on your team. You just can't win by yourself.
Exactly.
Regardless of how good you are, if nobody else can score, I could just put 3 people on you or whatever. You can't score. There's no way you're scoring on 3 people. And
if nobody else is scoring on your team, which we saw what happened in the KD Brooklyn series against the Celtics and against us the year prior. You saw that with Luka to an extent. Like people just couldn't hit shots as much, especially when the defense gets better. They were just
throwing 2 people at him like full court. They're like, whatever, you can't. They're like, we don't believe in Jalen Brunson. We don't believe in Spencer Dinwiddie. We don't believe in Dorian Finney-Smith, and he wasn't it.
Exactly. And then look, I think people don't realize that when you go against like elite level teams that have mediocre defense, then you can get away with your best star just carrying. But when you go against a team that has stars and elite defense, and you're going against a team that just has a star with no defense and just pieces, then you run into an issue. The Bucks against the Raptors ran into an issue. You got Luka ran against the Warriors. You have an issue. The Nets, when they ran against that elite Celtics defense, they had an issue. Giannis and the Bucks against the Celtics without Chris Middleton, we ran into an issue. But because of the will of Giannis, we took them 7 games. And that's why people that's why a lot of people are like, if we had Middleton, I've told people this too. If we had Middleton, I ain't gonna lie, I almost had us winning in 5 for real. I didn't see them really messing with us, bro.
I think it was a possibility that y'all was gonna be the Celtics. Especially like Tatum, the way he was playing in the rest of the series, he was hooping, but he was like he was turning the ball over the most in the playoffs. And then Jalen Brunson was also in second for turnovers in the playoffs.
I didn't know that.
2. They were literally 1 and 2, and I think Jason Tatum broke the record. I think he had like 100 or something. And I think
he beat LeBron.
Yeah,
LeBron, who literally ball handles every possession. Jason Tatum,
he don't even touch the ball every possession. He genuinely does.
Nigga, he just be like fumbling the ball. Like I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the Celtics.
He did exactly what KD was doing when they went against him. just losing the ball for no reason. You just like, how did you? And
it's crazy because the Celtics actually have a team. So it's like, what are you forcing stuff for?
And it's not even like the lights are too big because, I mean, this is the whole playoff thing. He's been to the Western. I think it was a rookie season.
Yeah,
Eastern
Conference Finals. Yeah,
like it's not like the lights we've been here before, So it's just kind of like they gotta. I mean, some of that falls on the point that they have no playmakers on that team for.
I mean, what happened in the finals is Wiggins put the clamps on him, and on top of that, you had Draymond on Jaylen Brown. You had Marcus Smart trying to guard Curry on the opposite end, which was just not working. Just was not working. And then you had that's your defensive player of the year. Okay. It should have been Drew.
I'm not a voter.
Should have been Drew. I'm sorry. It should have been Drew. I don't know about Drew. Did you see what he did to Marcus Smart? Did you see what he did to that man? Had him arms open wide, trying to flop in the game.
That was literally the playoffs.
I know, but I'm just saying, Drew was locking down the whole year.
Of course, he's locked. I understand.
Because Brooke wasn't there, and to help our interior defense, our whole defense, like our rating and everything, was just lower. Giannis was still crazy on defense. That's why he was still in the running for DPOY kinda. He was in that top 5.
He probably should have won.
I mean, shoot. I just, as long as it ain't Go Bud again, bro. I don't care, bro. I don't like that man, bro. I'm sorry. I don't like that man, dog.
Bro, he's the top 10 defense by himself.
Whatever. And he is, because if you put it in the paint like an idiot, then you're gonna get blocked by him. It's just as simple as that, bro. And so, but that Warriors team was really like what let them win was the experience. And the Celtics, they did not have the same experience, and that's why they lost. And then going into offseason, we see the Celtics made some changes. They got Malcolm Brogdon, they got Danilo Gallinari. You see the Warriors lost some people, but overall they look still pretty good because they have their core for the most part. And Wiggins and Poole are about to get extensions. It's not even a question. They're going to get extensions.
And they drafted Patrick Baldwin Jr. They still continue to have their draft picks and continue to
keep
getting players. So it's really not fair. Their summer league team looks outrageous, but
yeah. And then they got Dante DiVincenzo, which I think like he's gonna look better on their roster compared to the Bucks roster because of just how free flowing their offense is. Then you have the turmoil going on with the Nets and figuring out who's staying, who's going. If I'm being honest, I think KD and Kyrie are both gonna end up staying. Actually, Kyrie might get moved, but KD is probably gonna end up staying.
I think it's too hard to trade KD.
It's way too hard. That's too much.
Like, I understand Gobert got 5 picks, but that does not mean KD should have got more. I think Gobert just shouldn't have got 5 picks. The haul for Gobert was just outrageous. That was a stupid trade.
So then you have the Gobert to the Timberwolves for chump change and 5 picks. I mean, I ain't gonna say Patrick Beverly, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and I forgot the other person. It's some other random dude. No offense to you, whoever your name is. I just forgot your name.
It's Kessler Edwards.
Kessler Edwards. There it is. The trap. Yeah, he got drafted. He's a big man. Which I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The Jazz team, they're looking all right. And then you got Donovan Mitchell potentially. Like you have all these different things going into the season. And so then I told Bo, I said, make your top 10 list going into the season for the NBA. That's the last thing we're gonna do before we get out of here. And so what? Let's start off at 10. Let's both start off at 10 and then work our way from there. So at 10 for me, I ain't gonna lie, I might be tweaking, but I just don't trust them. And you know who I'm about to say, bro. The Phoenix Suns at number 10, bro.
10 is crazy. 10 is crazy. 10 is crazy. I don't know.
At number 10, I got the Phoenix Suns.
I got the Dallas Mavericks at 10.
They were in my honorable mentions.
My honorable mention was the Pels.
Nah, I got the Pels higher. We're gonna get into it.
I respect it though. I respect that though. I wanted to put them there. I really did.
Because so number 9, I have the Pelicans. They're just that team is so nice. That team is
nice. They even drafted nice.
I didn't think that this would happen so soon for them, especially after they traded Lonzo and then they made some moves around the edges. But they drafted beautifully. They got Herb Jones, a lockdown defender, to go along with Ingram, McCollum. You still got Devontae Graham off the bench. They're probably gonna flip him. You got Jonas Valanciunas. You got Jackson Hayes. You got shooters. You got Zion Alvarado. And then Zion's back. He's the
only wild card to me, just because I think he has a high motor, but like compared to Cat, right? Cat's a great offensive player, but defensively, they're not that well. They're not great defensively. They're not great.
The Pelicans?
No. Talk about just Zion and
Cat. Zion and Cat. Yeah.
Zion and Cat. Yeah, they're not great defensively.
No,
but you know, I want to see it before I be like, yeah, they're about to be a great team. You know, sometimes you put a lot of players together, because that's a lot of scoring. It's a lot of scoring.
But you saw that they guarded pretty well against. I mean, that's why you have Herb Jones. Brandon Ingram is an underrated defender, and so is CJ McCollum, an underrated defender. If I were them, I might trade Jonas Valanciunas for a shot blocker, or you keep developing Jackson Hayes. He's more of a shot blocker. But let's. Who's your number 9 though?
I had the Nuggets.
Okay, that's valid. Especially
I don't want to put them higher because I don't know what MPJ is doing. Jamal Murray, I think he's gonna hoop, but I don't think he's gonna be bubble Jamal.
I think
you don't just tear something and then come back.
I think it's gonna be better. No, the first ACL tear usually come back better. It's the second one where you usually are worse. That's another thing. But so at number 8, I got Philly.
I also have Philly.
Hey. So is it because you also saw how like James Harden is about to like really finally locking in?
Yeah, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different than it was.
I think it's gonna be way different.
I think it was kind of thrown into a mess. Yeah. And there was a lot of things going on that season, the Ben Simmons and stuff like that. Locker room probably was feeling a little weird. But I think they're coming back, they got a fresh start. I think they have a good team. They got PJ Tucker, which is super W.
Super W.
Like that's a great defender where y'all can just throw on somebody and then James can chill. Like y'all can really do your best to hide James Harden.
They're trying to get the Rockets team back together. That's really what they're doing.
They what was his name? Daryl Morey?
Yeah. And then I'm trading Matisse Thybulle because I trust PJ Tucker more than Matisse Thybulle. Granted, I could get some value from Matisse Thybulle.
I think if Matisse can hit like 2 threes or a 3 a game, he's helpful.
Or a layup.
Something.
Hit a free throw. Jeez. Number 7, I have Denver.
I had the Clippers.
I'm not even gonna get into that yet.
I don't trust them.
You're wilding, bro.
I don't trust them.
You're wilding.
I haven't seen John Wall hoop in 2 years. I can't.
He doesn't need to hoop. That's the thing.
He could put up 10 and 10. I understand that, and that'd be amazing. But I just don't trust them.
I trust it, and we'll get into it later. Number 6, I have Brooklyn.
I got the Grizz. I don't know why you have Brooklyn in there.
Because I think they're gonna come back, and I think with Ben, Kyrie, and KD, that's a squad. But like, who's to say that they're gonna be there? But I'm saying
Kyrie's also a wild card because half the games.
I think he's gonna play this year. I genuinely think wherever he is, he's gonna play this year.
Bro, Mr. Man, he take just random leaves.
Apparently, he just finessed the Drew League, but that's a whole nother thing. I don't even want to get into
it.
Though. Bron was crazy. I gotta watch the whole highlights though, but that was crazy. Number 5, I have Memphis.
Miami.
You're gonna be crazy.
You got Miami. You got Miami top 3.
I have Miami honorable mentions, bro.
You don't believe in Miami? They be going back.
I know.
They always just have that player that's random that's just gonna hoop for them. That's why I can't.
They need one more piece.
They do need one more. I agree.
We need another piece. I don't trust the only reason I think Philly would have beat them if Philly actually had some time to do stuff. I think if the Hawks with DeJounte Murray, I think they probably would have beat that Heat team too. The only reason why they beat the Hawks is because they had no ball handlers besides Trey, and even Trey got 1 game. You think if they had DeJounte Murray, only losing Danilo Gallinari, basically, that they're not gonna be better, and they have more defenders now? You see, that's what I mean, bro.
But Jimmy's a gamer, bro. He just hoop.
I know. Jimmy is him. He's Himothy.
He come out there and do whatever he needs to do to get that done.
Oh, he's Himothy, bro. So then, who you have number 4?
At the Bucks.
That's valid. I got Boston.
I respect that.
Number 3.
I got the Suns.
I got the
You don't
Bucks.
like that.
I got the
I know
Bucks.
you don't like that. I know you don't like that.
Yeah, I got the Bucks at number 3.
Who you got number 2?
Clip City, Chip City, man. You know what I got that from? I got that from Andre Johnson on Blackish. He used to say that all the time. Man, it was funny, dog. Man. Who you number 2?
Celtics. They got better. They got a better team.
They did get better.
And they just went to a chip. I can't really say too much after that.
And then number 1, Warriors. Yeah. Of course, the champs have to go number 1.
Bro, their team is outrageously better than everybody else.
In terms of perimeter, yeah. And then especially if you got James. Oh my gosh, James Wiseman. James Wiseman. But like that, I'm not gonna lie. I think our lists are pretty valid though.
They're young players coming up are still W. So.
Yeah, for real though. So I'm not gonna lie. I admit, I definitely made some crazy things on my list. Not an expert or anything. I'm not claiming to be, but I just I'm not gonna lie. Like this is like for when I think of like the best like contenders. Well, like I think teams that I think like on the list of who's gonna be the closest to the championship. I don't give a rat's ass about like about the regular season for real. The standings mean absolutely almost nothing to me. As long as you get in the play-in at the very least, you're content. You can potentially be a contender.
Yeah.
So that's why I have my list in the way that I have it. And so just to read it off again, for me, I got the Warriors number 1, then I got the Clippers, then the Bucks, Boston, Memphis, Brooklyn, Denver, Philly, Pelicans, Phoenix. I'm missing the Heat and Dallas. Those are the main 2 people that I'm missing.
I had the Warriors, the Celtics, the Suns, the Bucks, the Heat, the Grizz, the Clips, the Sixers, the Nuggets, and then the Mavs, and then the Pelicans with the honorable mention. They're a W team.
Pelicans are going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if Pelicans ended up shooting up to like 6 on my list.
I just got to see it, something it's a lot of experience things on that team. They have CJ, who's a veteran, but he also hasn't gone that far. I mean,
that's why I did it. That's why I did it. That's why I did this based off. It's a prediction. Like this is a prediction of what I think is going to be by the end of the season.
Right.
This is what I think is going to happen. I don't think the Heat are going to have enough firepower. Granted, if they get Donovan Mitchell, that's a whole nother story. They in my top 5.
Hey, the Jazz said they're open to trading Donovan Mitchell again.
They are, but do they want Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson? Is the question. You want them 2 white boys? I mean, shoot, Tyler Hero, he a homeboy from Wisconsin. So like, and he's a baller, he's a hooper. But do you want him to be a star of your franchise moving forward? That's that's a whole other thing.
Unless they want to tank and try to get Wabanyama, I don't understand.
Are you talking about that one dude?
Yeah, do they have their pick?
Yeah, they do. They haven't traded their pick. When is the last time you saw Jazz made a trade?
They just got a pick back from the Brooklyn for Royce O'Neal.
No, yeah, they did. So I mean, they're stacking up on picks. I mean, you know who their general manager is, right? Who their general GM is? Danny Ainge.
Oh, Danny Ainge. Okay, San Francisco Thunder.
You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna get picks. That's what Danny Ainge does. He gets picks. So I mean, we can talk about it, but like me having Phoenix below at number 10, I know, right? That's crazy. They were just number 1 seed, 61 team. I get it. Granted, they should be high. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Phoenix because of what's going on. DeAndre Ayton is coming back, so that should make them another really good regular season team.
That's not by choice though.
Not by choice at all. He wanted to go to the Pacers by far. But when you think about all these other Western teams coming in, Warriors are going to be back and fully healthy. As we see, they're a problem. The Clippers are going to be back. Shoot, you got Memphis. They ain't gonna get any worse. And
Memphis will get better.
They're getting better.
They're getting better.
You got Denver coming back with a fully loaded squad. And they got rid of some ball handlers so then they can get some more like shooters and stuff. Because with Jamal Murray coming back, and you got MPJ, and you got Jokic already, well, you don't need a whole bunch of ball handlers.
They got KCP. Not that many people are high on him. He does have a chip, so y'all can stop talking. So
Exactly.
I mean, he do got a chip. Hey, he was shooting. Was he playing great for that chip? I don't know. He got one though. He's still getting paid, and he got an extension.
An extension, 2 years, 30 mil, right?
Yep.
So like a 15 mil a year. Basically, that's his last contract. That's his last big contract.
Oh yeah.
And he's on like 28. He's 28. He's old.
Yeah, he's old. Yeah, he's old.
I mean, not old, but he's like prime.
He's old in NBA terms.
Yeah,
he's like towards that older point.
He's getting towards where it's like, okay, you're just gonna be shooting threes in a little. Like you're not gonna be doing anything else. You're just gonna be shooting threes in like the next like 3 years for real. I mean, he's a defender too, so that's why he can keep a job even more because he shoots.
3 MDs always have a job.
Always have a job, bro. And so like, and then also that's what I was saying. You have Pelicans as well. You still have Dallas, which I think Dallas has the opportunity to be better as well. But that's just what I'm saying for now. Of course, these lists are subject to change. This is basically our way too early top 10 NBA teams for 2020.
I mean, it depends on a lot of things. You know, some players we haven't seen who on a different team. You know, we haven't seen them in this type of role, so we have to really see if they can even do it in the first place. Because sometimes some people just can't. They just can't switch roles. You know, there's a point guard in LA who just can't switch roles, but.
Tough. Very tough. Very tough. But I mean, like, I kind of like your list though. Your list is pretty valid. I don't like how you have Clippers so low though. You tweaked out, bro.
Bro, they always injured.
That's true.
I mean, kind of like they're always that team that's just like we're good, just not good enough.
I was telling in the basketball chat we have, I was like, I feel like Clippers versus Lakers in the playoffs is actually going to happen this year. It's when we least expect it. I think.
You think the Lakers going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah. LeBron's not missing playoffs twice. No, not 2 times in a row, bro. They're gonna
I love Bron. I mean, I don't know.
Like I left them off this list because I just don't know, but they're gonna be in the playoffs, and if they're in the playoffs by default, they're in contention, regardless of what happens. I mean, because it's LeBron. Like,
of course, it's LeBron, bro. But
you know,
your second best player, AD, is not who.
I think he's in the gym.
That sound good, bro. That sounds really great. It sounds really great. But he's hooping against nobody right now.
He's with Lethal Shooter, bro. Everybody who trades with Lethal Shooter and comes to the season ends up having a clip, bro. And you know it's true.
Ben Simmons.
He didn't train with Lethal Shooter.
But Ben Simmons, he was going to every summer.
He wasn't training with Lethal Shooter though.
Bang. He
wasn't training with Lethal Shooter.
Bro, he playing with teams and he's hitting threes. Andre Drummond hit threes. You know.
No, bro. No, but having the Clippers that low, I understand why. But I just think they are the second best team in the league. Granted,
and then y'all lost Isaiah Hartenstein too. So
that doesn't matter.
That's a W backup center.
Well, he definitely was a W. I will admit he was definitely. But
he can play make. You know, he can score, play some defense.
He's legit. No, Isaiah Hartenstein.
He was a great backup center. I mean, I'd rather have my team than where he went.
I mean, shoot, if what's his name? If they didn't run into the Timberwolves and then Paul George got injured against the Pelicans, they would have been in the playoffs. So like that's why I'm very high on the fact of what they could be. And at least, but
I gotta see. I know there's a person on that team that could will a finals. I also know there's a person on that team that can will you out the first round. So it's kind of it depends on who there.
You talking about Paul George will you out the first round?
He
willed them all the way to the conference finals without freaking Kawhi.
Sound good.
Did you forget?
Sound great.
No, it is great.
Sound great. Sound great.
You're not gonna disrespect my man's, bro. Where's his jersey at? His jersey is somewhere in here.
I still remember Dame. It won't be forgotten. It won't be forgotten.
But that's a different time. Bro.
It's not, bro.
Like, let's get over it.
Bro, they had Russell Westbrook. Averaged a 30-point triple-double. And Paul George out there now. I think Westbrook put up 51 game, and Paul George put up like less than 10. I said, nah, he couldn't get no help.
Bro, he's good now, bro. He's good. Last year proved it. He's good now. He's chilling. He's been cooking ever since. But the reason
I gotta see consistency.
The reason why I put Paul George and the Clippers and Kawhi and the Clippers, whatever you want to say, the reason why I put them so high compared to Phoenix is because when fully healthy, they are a problem. We just saw Phoenix lose fully healthy to a Dallas team with Luka and friends. That is why
the homies from the crib.
Yeah, that is why I put them lower. I don't like that shows you ain't got no dog in you, bro. You getting cooked.
You don't got that dog in them.
Yeah, bro, you got that little puppy. It's funny because it's like literally like a little puppy. Like that's what he's killing me, bro. I love that meme is hilarious, dog. But like that's why they're so low, and that's why I have the Pelicans over them because that's the team who really, if they have Zion, they're beating them. Point blank, period.
I hear you. But we see some people that really hoop a regular season come to the playoffs and just
Phoenix. That's literally what they just did.
The Knicks. The Knicks.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
And you remember that? Oh my God.
Oh, you talking about like when Zion gets to the playoffs, we don't know what he's gonna be like.
Like respectfully, he could be great.
That's fair.
But he could also allow the next man get 30. So that's kind of like it sounds good, but like if you put up 30 and then put 30 on you.
I mean, he's playing power forward, bro. Like how many good power forwards are there besides Giannis and KD? But he's on the West. They're on the East. He's on the West.
Okay.
Who else is a good power forward?
I guarantee you, Jokic wants that switch. Bron wants that switch.
Everybody wants that switch.
That's what I'm saying. The switch is gonna happen at some point. It's gonna happen.
I think he can hold his own. Like I don't think he's a terrible defender. I
don't think he's terrible either. I just think he has the tools. He just doesn't have like the like what's the word?
Man's is looking ripped though. I ain't gonna lie. Man's looking hella ripped.
Yeah.
He looking ripped, bro. His face got a little less chubbier too. I think he looking nice, bro.
You don't got anticipation. There you go. You don't got anticipation yet.
Well, I mean, he doesn't need when you have Herb Jones, when you have
you still got to bro. If you jump out the gym, I need blocks from you. I need blocks from you. You jump out the gym, I need blocks.
Remember he booted some stuff in the stands from a close on a 3-point line.
That was in college.
No, he did that in
I hear you though. That's a 3 though. You know he's shooting that. That's somebody drive like Ja might get that bucket. Drop to the lane. I think Ja getting that bucket.
I can't wait to see some of these like newer stars go against each other. Like that's why I have Memphis at 5. Like Memphis against Pelicans, that's gonna be crazy.
That's
if that was a series, oh my gosh, top tier television, bro.
Yo, Ja's getting 50 because CJ can't guard him.
Nah, they're putting Herb on him. They gotta put Herb on him.
Herb is a great defender. It's Herb fast enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I'm not gonna say that's D-Rose Jr., but that's D-Rose Jr.
Who? Oh,
that's D-Rose Jr. Ja got crazy speed.
That's why he needs to watch how he be jumping.
You saw how Jordan Poole was on the ground.
No, that was crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never seen anybody get broken like that.
Off a spin?
I've never seen the way he did it. I've never seen that. I was like,
spin?
I was just like, all right. You broke
off a half spin is really crazy though, bro. Like
Cam Johnson stay down there.
Insane. Insanity. But like into my your top 4 was Warriors, Boston,
Suns, and the Bucks. Yeah.
Suns and the Bucks. F the Suns. I'm not talking about them again. But like if you put like for me, I have Warriors, Clippers, Bucks, then Boston. Like Boston and Bucks, I feel like they're just about interchangeable at this point.
Yeah.
Especially because Boston got better and Milwaukee, we just really brought back everybody and then got Joe Ingles, which I don't know what Joe Ingles is gonna be like. And then also my rookie, I'm gonna say his name now just so people know. Marjon Beauchamp. Marjon Beauclamps. Wait until you see this man, bro. He can fit in just right. He can hit a spot at 3. He can defend the best player on the team. And that's already saying something because we already have Giannis and Drew who can defend the best player on the team. So when you have those two and then you have Marjon Beauchamp who literally doesn't have to do anything but cut, he's athletic, get some buckets easy, do some other easy little buckets and stuff and just be a good like role player and just be a Herb Jones for us. That's scary.
No, I respect that. But you can't forget, that was Ime Udoka's first year.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
That was Ime Udoka's first year, and he had one of the greatest scores of all time. Looking like he couldn't hoop no more. He was
straight jail. Straight jacket.
Yeah. Now, given they couldn't guard Kyrie,
could not guard. But it didn't matter because Kyrie didn't do anything anymore.
They honestly, I think they wanted Kyrie to beat them. I don't even think they care. I think they're just like, as long as KD don't score, Kyrie's not winning the game.
Kyrie doesn't win a game for you by himself like KD can.
No, that's not. I mean, respectfully, Kyrie hit the shot of shots, but Bron had the blocks. Let's be real.
I mean, shoot,
it was both hooping. We know who 1A and 1B was.
We know for sure. That's why I really like what Boston did. Get into the little guard and already get in Malcolm Brogdon, who's a combo guard. He's not like a facilitator, but he can take away some of that ball handling responsibilities from JT and from them.
I think people think they look at the stats and they're like, oh, he's a playmaker. He's not necessarily a playmaker. I think he can play make. Feel me? But he's not like a CP3 type deal. Like he's a scorer still, but he can pass the ball.
He's somebody that's like, okay, I have Marcus Smart, I have Jaylen Brown, I have Jason Tatum. They can kind of play make. I could play make better than them, but I don't take that's why I love them on the Bucks so much. He could play make and he could do everything that you wanted him to do. And so when it came to like the playoffs and everything, he just did what he had to do. And he could take some of that ball hand responsibility from Giannis, from Middleton, and from dreadful Bledsoe. And and just like Drew Bledsoe, right? Remember that? That was crazy. I ain't never seen a nigga disrespected like that before. And but he can take away that responsibility, and he's comfortable with the ball. He's not gonna turn it over, and he's gonna score if he needs to, and if not, he's gonna get somebody the ball. And that's why he's a great pickup for them, literally for nothing.
So what I saw though is that they want him to come off the bench as a 6-man.
I don't like that.
I would rather start him and Marcus at the same.
That's exactly.
I put Marcus at the 2 because Marcus can hit a 3.
Because then when he gets, inevitably he's probably gonna get injured. I hope he doesn't, but he usually does. Then you're like, it won't matter. I mean, okay, so I can understand why he comes off the bench because he does get injured a lot. But it's like, who are you starting at the 2 instead? Like you're gonna start who they have starting?
Derek White.
Is it Derek? No, it wasn't Derek White. It was Horford. So they had Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Horford, and then Robert Williams.
Time Lord.
Time Lord.
Don't forget about Robert Williams.
He's gonna get even better. I hope his knees are all right though. He was playing through that like Isaiah Thomas was, and you saw what his career is now since that knee injury. Right. So it's gonna be very interesting. But I feel like this is gonna be a great season. It's gonna be a really great season, man. I really can't wait. My Bucks gonna be back.
I want to see
we're gonna make a move.
I want to see the Rockets, and I want to see Orlando.
I want to see Pistons.
Nah, that's a great. I was gonna put them in honorable mentions because they can come out and just get to hooping.
Nah, they don't.
You don't think so?
They don't have enough yet.
I'm not saying they're gonna win a bunch of but just get to hooping. At the very least, be fun to watch. Like the Grizz before they were the 2 seed. It was hooping.
Oh no, they're gonna be great. Like some of these young teams, that's another team, like the Hawks. I feel like that's a team you want to keep your eye on because John Collins is yet to be moved still. He's going to be moved. That their relationship is irreparable.
It's done. Mm-hmm.
They don't like each other anymore. And you still have the domino of Russ Westbrook of what's gonna happen with him. And like a lot of like that, and that's why I say this is like the most like well-balanced year ever. You have like teams actually going in rebuilds.
Like we have some teams like the Cavs.
Fudge, I forgot about
Bro, Darius Garland, they brought Ricky Rubio back. He's going to be an amazing backup point guard. They have outrageous.
Don't know about Rubio.
They have so much height in that team. Defensively, they're crazy. Evan Mobley, I can see him being a defensive.
They just ran into KD. Like that's literally what happened. They ran into KD. There's nothing they could have done. They ran into KD, bro.
When you run into KD, you just take it out of that.
Yeah, you're just taking it. It's like you run into Giannis.
But
it's like
Evan
the
Mobley,
Bulls.
Let Evan Mobley get a bag offensively. It's done. Even just a slight bag. Darius Garland, amazing. Somehow that's a point guard. That is a point guard.
Healthy. Let the Bulls be healthy too. Especially if Lonzo is healthy.
They were a bad team.
Okay, hold up. But
they were a bad team against good teams.
No, okay, but I'm saying like when Lonzo was healthy though. When Lonzo was healthy, and this has been the trend every year, and I'm gonna keep talking about this. Whenever Lonzo is healthy, the team can weather the storm with the injuries and everything. But as soon as Lonzo gets healthy, the last person, as soon as he gets injured, that's when everything starts going downhill. And the same thing happened this year. The same thing happened the year prior and the year after that with Lonzo. It's a consistent thing. Lonzo needs to get healthy if this Bulls team wants to get better. And they need to, Patrick Williams as well, he's got to do better also. Mm-hmm. But it's those are the main things that need to happen in order for them to really be the best team that they can be. You know what I mean? Right. And it's, other than that, I mean, is this just, are we forgetting the team that like is kind of good?
The Thunder could do something. They might not win a lot of games. It might be fun.
Timberwolves. I'm interested to see how this 4-star lineup is gonna work.
It's gonna be real interesting. I think in order for them to win a lot of games, I think they're gonna need a lot from Anthony Edwards.
Who's gonna be their? Who's the 3? Who's gonna play the 3? Because it's gonna be D'Lo, Anthony Edwards. Who's at the 3?
I think McDaniels probably.
And then
you get a 3.
Oh no, Kyle Anderson. They got Kyle Anderson, and they got Brent Forbes also. That's a good pickups because they knew they were about to do the trade. I think that's why they did that before. They did it before the trade happened. Yeah. So you got that, all that stuff. Then you got Cat at the 4 and Gobert at the 5.
I think Gobert at the 5 is going to be more helpful for Cat.
Helpful.
He can't guard big men. Cat can't guard big men. All right.
I mean, Rudy Gobert.
He really can't guard much of anybody. Gobert can guard people. I think they have.
Gobert can't guard 1-on-1 though. He get dogged by Giannis every time he play him.
I hear that. Listen, I hear
that. And Embiid and Jokic. He can't guard them.
I mean, the Timberwolves, they lock in defensively as a team. They could do something. I still don't believe in Cat because he has a low motor, any low motors, very much DeAndre Ayton and AD. But that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me because it's like, yo, you're literally that tall. Dunk the ball. Be aggressive. Be Shaq. Literally. He's just, bro, they don't want to. I've never understood it. But they might just want to be guard. It's like, it's cool to be a guard now. So
I mean, but what's the deal with Rudy Gobert?
He's from a different country. He's from a different country. I don't know.
You know what? Let me stop calling him that, bro. Let Rudy Gobert. At least I'm gonna start saying it on there. But you know, let me stop.
Listen, we started talking about COVID. You know, when that was coughing on the mic. So.
We're not gonna talk about that.
We never forget.
But I mean, shoot, that Timberwolves team, that's like that. I ain't gonna lie, that was a question mark, and that's the reason why I have no idea how they're gonna be. I didn't put them anywhere because I don't know. At least with the Clippers, I know when healthy, they're good. At least I know with Phoenix overall, they're still gonna be a top 10 team. Mm-hmm. But with Timberwolves, I don't know. Pelicans, I know because I've seen that even without Zion, they were really good. So I'm assuming with Zion, 30-point per game scorer who shoots efficiently, who doesn't take the ball away from people, I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty freaking good. And so that, you know, it's, again, the season is going to be really good. I'm interested to see how Trae Young and DeJounte Murray mesh.
I might get the league pass.
I'm not going to lie, getting the league pass might be them. Oh, it comes with 2K.
Trash can, yes.
I mean, sure, I might as well get it, though.
I mean, I hear you for that on the 2K league pass part. I mean, on the league pass, I hear that. It's cheaper. It's literally a cheaper option.
It is. I mean, it's what, 160, I think? 150. So it's like, if I spend that and I get league pass too, I might as well do it.
I don't have a next gen. That's why it's kind of like, I mean, you can get on current gen.
You can get on current gen too.
I just want to, I need somebody else to get it before I buy it. Because 2K lies so much. I need someone else to buy it and prove it to me. Because they say everything like it's gonna happen, and it don't happen. So
it does happen. But after like the first few weeks, they keep emailing the devs, like the cheesers and stuff. They be like, change it, man, because they mad they can't do the same thing. People don't like change.
I hear that too. Y'all asked for a lot of like a very system where y'all can have any type of player, and they did that. Y'all didn't like it because everybody was making OD builds. I'm just kind of like,
there is no win. There is no right or wrong.
I mean, if they want to just remake 2K16, I'm not mad at it. Just remaster it. I'm not even mad at it.
Let's do 2K17. I love 2K17 because 2K17 was when grand badges were like first brought in, and then orange juice, fresh squeeze.
Hey, nah, WWW, but
that 2K17 is my favorite by far. Still is. And
I didn't play that much against that
19,
I had
19 of course, too. 19 was really good. 19 was really good. 19 and 20.
I think that 2K18 was really, really bad. So 2K19 looked really, really great. Because of that.
Because of that. 2K20, it kind of like it just carried us through quarantine.
Nah, 2K20 was good. I had a 99 glass light. I can't even lie. We was going crazy in the park. So
good time.
I'm not part pro am too.
Good times. But that's all we got for today. You know, we just rambling at the end and everything. But I appreciate everybody for listening. This is probably gonna be about an hour and a half or so. Went through 3 Zoom calls. Jesus, Lord have mercy. They changed the policy on Zoom thing, so like now one-on-one meetings, like now they have a maximum of 40 minutes.
Yeah, they said get to it quickly.
Yeah, so that's why they trying to make their money back, and they gassing it, bro. But either way, we talked about, just to recap, we talked about COVID and monkeypox. Will there be another pandemic? How do you feel about another pandemic? We talked about mental health, COVID, more COVID in school, being an HBCU versus being back home, the difference in disparities between black culture and HBCUs and black culture in Wisconsin, Madison, and Milwaukee. And then we talked about sports as well, and just like all that type of stuff with the NFL top 10 quarterbacks. Talked about the NBA season, the past one and this upcoming one, and then just a little bit 2K at the end. So thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for listening. Shout out Bocar for coming to the gang. Now he can't say I didn't put him on a podcast.
Don't worry, yeah, he did not want me on here, y'all. I promise.
Oh my God. Bro, I hate how everybody be saying that, bro. I'll be like, yo, I just get different people at different times. Like I gotta make sure, like before I bet you on, be like, this is gonna work. You know what I mean? It's my platform. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So but yeah, I really appreciate you being on. We'll definitely have you on another time. We never know. Who knows when? But you know, maybe by then, I might even change the name of the podcast. By then, y'all don't know about that. Yeah, so shout out everybody. You got any socials you want to plug? Of course, I'm gonna get your socials and I'm gonna put them in the description. And
shout out Active Minds. If you go to Morgan State, you care about your mental health, or if you don't care, you need to care. Shout out Active Minds. Follow us on Instagram. We got a lot of stuff going on this year, so it's gonna be lit. We're gonna try to help with Active Minds, and I don't know if you know much about the basketball club. They haven't said that to me. If we hoop it, we hoop it. If we not, we not. Hey.
I'm not talking about that right now. But I mean, any socials you want to plug before we leave, though?
Hey, follow me on TikTok, Bocar Jr. Spell out the Junior, J-U. Y'all know to spell Junior. But I'm trying to write it up on there. Give me a little bit of bread. Check out Twitch too. I think it's Bocar, something like that.
Yeah. You want to shout out the IG, man?
IG, shout out BOCARRR_. My name doesn't have many R's. I just
nice.
Just Bocar.
Bocar is just BOCAR, by the way, everybody. It's African.
It's actually not though. It's actually supposed to have 2 R's. My name is just not. My name is like illegal. My name is not how it's supposed to be at all.
No comment.
Right.
Y'all know my stuff. At Juelz _IS on IG and on TikTok, and y'all know I got my YouTube channel and all that. All that stuff will be in the link tree below. I'm not going through all that stuff, bro. Y'all know me at this point, man. So appreciate y'all for listening, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Get therapy. Talk to me.
What'd you say?
To get therapy.
Oh yeah, get therapy, everybody. All right, peace, y'all, and shout out to y'all for just being such loyal followers. Love you. Peace. Mwah. No.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. No. Peace. Peace though. All right, y'all.